Okay, I'm preparing to drill my holes for the 4-gauge wires that are going to come down from the combiner box on the roof. Back in this corner here, you can see the vent pipe that I'm going to be coming in next to. Up in there, if I can get the camera, you can see that there is a spot just back from there. I'm going to go about 5 inches back from that, just because there's sealant up there for the vent tube. So I'm going to go up top and we'll drill a hole and start running. Here we are on the roof. I brought up everything I think that I'll need. The combiner box comes with the screws to secure it. They are stainless steel. They're inside the combiner box. There's 3 larger screws used to attach it to the roof, and then 6 smaller ones that are used to attach the top to the combiner box. So in the box as well is some sticky sealant that you are to wrap around the cables as they come through the roof, and then right where this notch is where the holes will be for the cable. This adhesive gets put in around it to fill that up, to fill the hole up I should say, and then we fill the remaining area around the wires, this cavity as you can see, that's probably roughly 3/8 of an inch deep. We fill that with Dicor sealant, and then that will not allow any water to intrude. They have videos on AM Solar that explain the mounting of the combiner box, the mounting of the solar panels, but they don't actually show it up on the roof and doing the install like I'm doing right now. Around this edge, perimeter, you're going to put a bead of Dicor, and then they say to exit across the back, and then attach it with your 3 screws, which you see here. And then of course this cavity will get filled up with Dicor. So then that makes for a watertight seal on your combiner box. And then there's 6 screws. They say to install the 2 center ones, just snug them, and then install the 4 corner. As you can see, the outside ones come outside the box. If you do strip them, you can put a nut in there and use a machine screw. The center ones go on the inside of the box. So after you get this installed and all your wires are in it, they do want you to put a couple dabs of Dicor over the top of those screws just to keep any water from going inside. So I'm gonna set up here and drill me a hole, and hopefully it's in the right spot. I am right in line with my vent tube that I want to be on. So here we go. I'm just going to mark out the inside of the box where my holes are going to be, and so now I have a frame of reference to drill my holes. Okay, so there's my holes. So now, theoretically, as you can see where the combiner box goes, I can run my wires up through there now. So I'm going to go down below and feed some wire up through, get that figured out exactly how much I want out here or need up here, and then we'll get this box secured. I'm going to take this box down though right now and go ahead and take these knockouts and punch them out and put in the watertight connectors that they provide for my solar panel cables. Okay, I've knocked all the knockouts out of a combiner box. Just take a screwdriver to the back edge and you can knock those right out. There's a video online that shows you that. They did not put any sealer on theirs. I did put a bead of silicone at the back edge of the nut on the outside here before I put it on, and then put the locking ring on, and then just tighten these up with a crescent wrench. Just snug them up is all they need. So now we will go run the wire and get it in place, get it up to the roof where the holes that I've already drilled, and then we'll get this box mounted and sealed into place and continue from there. Well, as you can tell, we do have light protruding. We've already drilled that out. Looks like we did okay. I don't think that we hit anything. So now we're just going to drop our wire down in and start pulling it through into the bathroom and through the bathroom floor into the kitchen floor underneath the counter, and get it run into place, and then we'll start hooking things up. Okay, I'm feeding my wire down in here, and it is quite congested. As you might imagine, there's a lot of wires coming up into this area because of all the other monitors and systems. So I removed one of them just to give me a little bit more access, and so I could see a little better and get it started. So that's what I'm currently doing, is just trying to get it fed down in here in the most expedient manner I can. I'm going to try and keep it along the vent pipe itself. You just take your time, you'll get it. This happens to be fairly large wire to feed down past these other systems. So as soon as I get it there, I'll get back with you. Feels like it's starting to go a little better. I may have to take another one out right here and take the magnum out as well, but we'll keep working at it. Okay, up to this point I now have the wire down inside in the bathroom, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and attach my battery monitor wire that tells me that, which will go to the shunt cable that goes right off the battery. It gives me an accurate condition of the battery, and then I'm going to attach the control to this as well, so that I just pull them through at the same time as I'm pulling the battery cable here. So that'll make it a lot easier getting these two wires in place. They do come with labels, or at least the control wire does, so that on this end it can be labeled what it is. So I'm just going to take and wrap a few strands of, or a few times around with some electrical tape, and start pulling it all through. So then once I get it in place at both ends, I will attach the solar monitor tags that they give to me, so that we know exactly what the wires are. Future reference, somebody else works on the unit, they pull some of these out, disconnect them, they don't know what they are. For instance, this one here for the power control system, you know, it's not labeled, which I guess is okay. But anyway, so I'm gonna get to pulling these wires, and we'll see how that goes. Probably every so often I will go ahead and I might tape these on, but I want to be sure that I get them in the right position before I do tape them. And then of course make sure when you're pulling these through that it's not going to be against anything that could rub through or cut them. If there is, then you want to put some type of cable shielding on it. And that could be as simple as just wrapping it with a few layers of duct tape, or getting some actual sheathing for the electric wires. If you have somebody else that can help you, it makes it a little easier when you're pulling wires like that. They can make sure they're feeding in together and going good, but you can do it by yourself as well, as you can see. I'm going to stop there because that's about what I need up top. Now I may have to go get my wire pull and feed it through from the top and then attach it so I can pull it up, which looks like what I'm going to have to do. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I cheated. I didn't go get my wire pull. I just grabbed a coat hanger. I don't have very far to go on this one. I may need it for underneath the coach, but we'll see. So I just bent the end of the coat hanger over. I've already got the end taped together. So now we'll just slip that between them. And then we want to tape that so that we don't have anything in the way and we get a straight pull when we go up through the hole. And then we'll go up there and pull it back through. Okay, we're ready. So, let's go up on the roof. Okay, so we're back. I got what I need. I got my flat blade screwdriver. I got my utility knife. So now we need to position the box over our marks. And then we just need enough wire up here that we can make our bend over and make our attachments inside the box. And we use the center attaching point because that's the larger of the other attaching points inside. There is quite a few that you can attach into this box. So we will be attaching 4 panels on this installation. So I'm going to go ahead and line it, and I'm going to mark my holes and drill those for the screws. Okay, and then we'll clean the surface in preparation to install it. Be careful not to go through too far, just to make sure that you don't hit anything down below. The wires, there may be some wires inside the ceiling, and obviously you don't want to hit one of them and then have to repair it. So I don't have any isopropylene alcohol or something to clean it off, but what I do have is a non-chlorinated brake and parts cleaner, which will remove any grease, oil, wax, anything of that nature. So just spray some of that on a rag, wipe the surface, make sure it's clean, which according to my rag it is. So now that's clean, and let's wipe the back of this to make sure there's no oils or wax or grease or anything on that from our hands. We're going to go ahead and apply our Dicor sealant to the back of the box. Just line up your holes. Put a little pressure down on the box. You know what I forgot? My Phillips screwdriver. Surprise. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. All right. There is some Dicor in the 2 holes by the wire. I did not put any in the one in the back here, which I'm going to do right now. So, now we'll install that screw. You just snug them up, don't over tighten them, you don't want to strip them out just putting them in the first time. And you can see our Dicor is squeezed out around the edges here, so, which is exactly what we want. Of course, as you would know it, I didn't pay attention and I've got my cables crossed. Okay, as you know, I did make a mistake in getting my wires up through here, although it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be to turn them around. So I retaped it just shoved it back through a little bit, gave a twist on the coat hanger, and now they're in the correct orientation, which is going to make it a little easier to hook up. I believe that'll do it. So now we'll just fill this cavity with the Dicor sealant. And it is self-leveling, so it will run around and fill in around the cable itself. And you can see then that will make for a watertight seal. Okay, the 4-gauge wire's run. It's in the wall. It's up in the combiner box hooked up. It comes down into the bathroom. I've still got to run it through underneath the bathroom sink, into underneath the kitchen sink, and then out into the compartment to the charge controller. Right now I'm hooking up the monitor, the battery monitor. And so you've got basically, it's like a phone line. You just plug that in. I do want to, however, mark this for future. And it comes with it comes with little tags for it. I am having trouble, however, getting it started. There it is. Okay. So we just want to put that around this and then attach it to itself. So now we know that this is a solar monitor. Okay. Now we have to attach the shunt wiring, and then on the outside edge is the positive and on the inside edge is the negative. Put them into place. Just snug them down. Don't strip them out. They're small screws. And we'll check to be sure that they're tight, and they are. So now we want to leave a little excess so that, you know, we can pull this out and work on it, replace it, whatever you may want to do. Maybe you're going to run some other wires. So now we'll just feed this back into the wall. And then attach our screws that we already pre-drilled when we cut the hole out. Pull that off. And then voila, professional looking install from a non-professional. So now we've still got this to deal with, and we've still got to run that back in underneath to the kitchen. So